Alrighty, guys. Welcome back. This is Mr. Aragon. Sorry if my voice sounds really raspy. I just got back from a jog and I don't know, for some reason my voice is weird. But what we're going to do today, this morning, good morning, we're actually going to go over the packet up until the imaginary section part. Now keep in mind, I am going to go from page to page in order. So obviously, if you already know these and you feel like you don't have any trouble with 1 through 6 in the basics, you can actually just fast forward. I'm actually going to be making 2 videos because I think my battery is about to die. So I got to find my battery charger, but we'll get through what we can get through. Okay. So for this first problem, it gives you a set of numbers from least, which is negative, to greatest, which is positive over here. So the first question asks you to list the positive numbers. So positive numbers are basically anything above 0. So from 0 all the way forward, these are your positive numbers, right? And that's all it's asking. So 0 is neither positive nor negative, so that really doesn't count. So you would count 1.75, 2, 3, 12, 16, and 81, right? And that would go in this column right here. Now, list all the negative integers. Keep in mind, these two verbs, or I'm sorry, these two vocabulary terms are completely different. Numbers are basically anything. 1.3, 2, 5, negative 94, 12, 13. Numbers are any number. Integers are whole numbers, so they cannot have a decimal, right? One of the easiest ways to think about integers is I think of integers as being intentional. So if I bake a pie, I intentionally bake a pie. I want one whole pie. I don't want half a pie or 2/3 of a pie. I want one whole pie. For those of you guys that speak Spanish, when I think of integer, I think of entero. Entero means whole. So if you have something and it's entero, it's not going to be 1.5 or 1/4. It's going to be 1, 2, or 3. So for this question, the negative integers, you're really going to be stuck with only a couple of them, right? So you're not going to count negative 1/4 because that's 0.25. You're not going to count negative 1.5 or 0.15 because it's not whole. So your numbers are going to be negative 6, negative 9, negative 19, and negative 81. Perfect. Now, list all the odd integers. Remember, integers. So we're not going to count any decimals, right, or any fractions. And we're looking for odd. So remember, odd is something that cannot be divided in half and ends up with a whole. So if I have 6 divided by 2 equals 3, right? But if I have 7 divided by 2, I get 3.5. This is acceptable because it's even. It splits evenly. This would be odd because it does not split evenly. You still have this remainder. So it's looking for odd numbers, right? So my odds are going to be negative 9. Sorry, my camera is focusing there. So it's going to be negative 9, negative 19, negative 81, and then that would be it for the odds, right? But it's not asking for negative or positive, so you would have to actually go to this side right here, and you would see that you also have 3, and you also have 81. So keep that in mind. You're not just asking for the odd or the evens, you're actually asking for both. You're just looking for the odd integers. Okay, now list all the even integers. So let's start from the negative side, right? Why not? So we have negative 6. So, and then we also have 0. I'll explain why 0 is an even number in a short minute. And then we also have 2. We also have 12, and we also have 16, because those are numbers that you can divide in half, and you get whole numbers, right? Now, I'm sorry, Chase, and I'm sorry, I think Eric, that I told that zeros were neither even or odd, but zeros are even. And I'm so sorry I misappropriated that information. So the easiest way to think of 0 as an even number is if you actually draw the 0, you can actually cut it in half. I'm sorry. Oops, let's erase that one. If you draw a 0, you can actually cut it right in half, and you'll get even numbers. And if you can actually cut it in fourths, and you'll get even numbers, right? I know my drawing's a little off, but if you draw a 0, you can cut it in half, you can cut it into fourths, you can cut it into sixths, and you'll get even pieces, right? That's why 0 is considered even. So I am sorry about that, my friends. Okay, so number 5 says, list all the positive even integers in consecutive order. Wow, okay. So positive, let's break this down. Positive, so that means it's going to be everything from 0 forward, right? Even, so we're not going to count 0.175, we're not going to count 3, we're not going to count 81. And then in consecutive order. So when I think of consecutive order, I think of down the line. So in order from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth, right? So this question is asking for positive, even, and put it all into consecutive order, right? So if we're looking for positive and if we're looking for even, we just got done saying that 0 is an even number, right? But since this is asking for a positive, 0 is not positive and it's not negative, so we're not actually going to count 0. This is where you have to pay close attention to what the question is asking. So instead of starting at 0, we're actually going to start at 2. So our numbers are going to be basically 2, 12, and 16. And then number 6, list all the numbers that are neither positive nor negative, right? And that is just going to be 1. We know that 0 is not positive and it's not negative. But we do know that 0 is an even number. Hopefully that helped you guys out a little bit. All right, let's move on to the next section, number 7. And number 7, I'm actually going to draw on the board. Please excuse my mess. My chalkboard isn't very clean, so hopefully you guys get the message here. So I'm going to flip this actually, flip the camera. Or actually, you know what I'll do? I'll start another video. So I'll pause this one, and then I'll start another video.